Good afternoon, everyone. It's a real thrill for us to have you here with us, joining our inaugural Meet the Principal webinar as we begin the process of founding our really exciting new school, Queen Elizabeth Dubai Sports City. I'm Dan Clark, and I'll introduce myself in some more detail later on, but I'm really thrilled to have with me today Louise Newman, our Head of Admissions. I dare say that many of you will have perhaps met with her or engaged with her already. She's going to play an important part in our webinar today, and we'll have a moment to talk through some of the admissions aspects of our new school.
Thank you, Dan.
Thanks very much. So as I was saying, my name is Dan Clark, and I am thrilled to have been appointed as the founding principal of Queen Elizabeth School, Dubai Sports City. And I couldn't be more excited to be founding this school as we prepare to bring this heritage and culture of academic achievement to a newer but equally ambitious community. Ours will be a unique school which brings together 4 centuries, or 400 years of educational and pastoral tradition. I've been thinking a lot about whether or not Queen Elizabeth I, some 450 years ago, could really have imagined that the school that was being founded in the suburbs of London at that time would go on to become one of the UK's and indeed one of the world's most successful academic institutions. And I'm really excited about kind of being the latest person to be taking on the mantle of this incredible heritage and bringing it to one of the world's most exciting cities. For me personally, the opportunity to lead this school brings together everything I've learned about education over a 2-decade career. And I'm delighted to be doing so at a pivotal time for Dubai education, as His Highness Sheikh Hamdan transformed Dubai into a world top 10 city for education. Indeed, we hope that with Queen Elizabeth joining the market for schools in Dubai, that he might aim a bit higher than top 10 over the course of the coming years. I wanted actually to give you a bit of an introduction to myself. The first thing to say is that I absolutely love teaching and I absolutely love working in schools. And in that sense, I've had an outstandingly enriching career. I was educated at George Heriot School in Edinburgh, Scotland's most academically successful school. And the impact of my experience in that school still resonates with me today. It was a school of exceptionally high standards, but also of exceptional warmth, fostered by incredible strength of relationships. And this set a very high bar for me in terms of what I expect from an outstanding education. And it's been the benchmark for me since I was a young boy in terms of understanding what a good school would look like. From school, I went up to the University of St Andrews, and that's an incredible university again in Scotland. It's a compact and small university, but the result of that was a really significant attention to the individual in the school. And I had a really fantastic experience and made lifelong connections, not only with fellow students, but actually with professors. And that for me, again, is at the heart of what an outstanding education really ought to look like. Since then, I've been fortunate to have 2 senior roles in 2 of the UK's leading schools, Repton and Marlborough. And whatever else had been the strength of those schools, and indeed there are many, there's a common theme in them. And that for me is that the best schools expand horizons for students while nurturing the whole person at the same time. And the students in these schools that I've worked in have always felt thoroughly known by the teachers who teach them and who care about them in the broadest sense. And so all of this is actually what has attracted me to this role at QE Dubai Sports City. From the earliest conversations I've had with everyone involved in the project, the qualities which I prize and value in education and which have been the hallmark of my career have been evident in every interaction that I've had. Although QE Barnet is considered to be the most academically successful maintained school in the UK, and rightly so, what's most striking about it, if you visit, is that it is not an academic hothouse. Each of the members of staff there take a huge amount of care in the pastoral, co-curricular and character development aspects of education. And for me, that's one of the signs of the very best schools, and it's that which I am planning to translate to Dubai for our school in Dubai Sports City. So I wanted also to talk a little bit more about our founding school and I suppose our heritage. I've been fortunate to be able to spend a lot of time there over the course of the past 12 months as I've been preparing myself to lead the school in Dubai. And I've had a really good chance to meet its leaders, its students, and its teachers. What strikes me about that is there's a very strong sense of scholarship permeating all that students do. They have a concept of free thinking scholarship, which is at every stage of education, encouraging young people to begin to think for themselves and to evaluate the world for themselves. I've seen also incredible teachers who are highly expert in what they do and they're passionately committed to the school's mission. Again, those are the kinds of staff that I will want to recruit to our school in Dubai. And the students themselves carry themselves with incredible confidence, they have incredible curiosity, and they're also exceptionally graceful and well-mannered. And that actually is what I would hope to bring to our school in Dubai Sports City. It's 3 Sunday Times School of the Year awards. Its annual success in securing more places at Oxford and Cambridge than almost any other school in England, and it recently winning an international VEX robotics competition, all make perfect sense when you visit. And if you ever had the chance to visit, I'd certainly encourage it. It all makes sense. You can see exactly why it is such an incredibly successful school. The other thing that has struck me about the school is the incredible sense of belonging that QE fosters. In Dubai recently, we hosted an event for old Elizabethans, those pupils or those adults who had been students at QE, and the exceptional sense of pride that they have in their old school fit exactly with my view on the kind of identity that the best schools can culture. Adults who are proud of their school, who understand the impact it's had on them, and actually who are ready to give back. A huge number of those Elizabethans who were at that event were desperate to get involved in our project and really keen to support us in bringing a school that they are proud of to Dubai. And so it is that heritage that we bring to Dubai. Now, of course, we're a branch school or a sister school, and it's natural that you may have some questions about that. You may have some thoughts about what is the connection between the two schools. And I am really proud to say that I've actually had a great opportunity to meet with Mr. Neil Enright, who's the headmaster at Queen Elizabeth School, Barnet, and he has been involved in this project from the get-go, and he's been very thoroughly involved for us over the course of the past year as we've started our planning and begun to execute our plan to open the school this year. He has been involved in consulting on the senior leadership appointments because he is absolutely determined that this school will share the values and DNA of his school. He wants to make sure that there's a close synergy between the two schools, and we're already considering the ways in which we can build that connection between the two schools into something real rather than something which is just a badge on the front of the school. We're absolutely keen to ensure that there are maximum opportunities for the schools in Dubai, the school in London, and indeed the other schools which will open as part of this project over the course of the coming years. I wanted also to talk with you this morning or this afternoon a little bit about my vision and mission for the school. In a sense, it's really simple and it's quite clear. We want to develop young people or Elizabethans who are confident, able, and responsible. It's a key mission which will be shared across all of the schools in the group and which is absolutely true to the mission of Queen Elizabeth School in Barnet. We want to nurture students to flourish, to empower them to excel, and to inspire them to innovate as globally minded leaders of tomorrow. And perhaps most importantly for me, we want every student in our school to feel known. We want them to feel that they belong to something which an organization and a school which really is focused on their well-being, their development, and their progress. So in that sense, our vision is modern, but it's also quite traditional. We want to root our school in the centuries of tradition, which we represent, but also we want to design our curriculum and our school for a future of remarkable possibility. And I hold myself responsible and accountable for achieving that vision. Fundamental to that, of course, will be our curriculum. And I am really proud to say that we are going to be a British curriculum school from the early years right through to A-levels. I believe deeply in the British educational system because year on year, I see its power for students in combining structure with flexibility and rigor with humanity. From the early years onward, our curriculum will focus on building secure foundations in language, number, and thinking, while also valuing curiosity, play, and exploration. As students move through prep and into senior, subjects are taught as disciplines with increasing depth, precision, and intellectual independence. By the time that students reach GCSE and A-level, they're not simply being prepared for examinations. They're being prepared to think critically, argue clearly, and study with confidence and with resilience. I've worked across this system, or in the system rather, across a range of outstanding schools, and I've seen firsthand how it can develop young people who are academically strong, who are adaptable, but most importantly, who are well prepared for the leading universities and the life beyond school that we're supporting them in preparing for. English, of course, is our language of instruction, but equally important to us is to ensure that we're honouring the heritage of the UAE. And as a result, Arabic will be taught through distinctive pathways for native and non-native speakers, as you might imagine. And we're really proud to be pioneering an Arabic immersion programme in the early years for both Islamic and moral education delivered alongside. These subjects are an important part of forming cultural literacy and also for producing globally aware young people. We don't want to treat it as a bolt-on, and we want to take our part in delivering the UAE national agenda targets particularly seriously. My view is that this academic spine gives students confidence and intellectual security in what they're doing, but it's actually not the whole story. We've chosen to describe Queen Elizabeth School, Dubai Sports City as a prep school and a senior school, rather than as a primary school and a secondary school. And the reason is that my experience is that the terms primary and secondary are really about an age or a particular phase of education. But actually, we are keen to use the terms prep and senior because they capture something about our ambition for our students and indeed our educational philosophy. We want to push pupils not merely through a stage or a phase, but we want to ensure that they're having the most broad, holistic experience that can be achieved in a school such as Queen Elizabeth School, Dubai Sports City. And that's why our signature programs are a really fundamental part of what we're offering. One of the most important ones, and one of the ones about which I'm most proud, is QE Flourish. QE Flourish is a defining feature of all QE schools, and if you ever get the chance to visit QE in Barnet, you'll see how important it is to life here. But this structure program is designed to encourage holistic development among young people. It's not a collection of clubs or ECAs that students dip in and out of. It's a planned framework that runs alongside academic study and develops students over time, leading to the development of the QE Flourish portfolio so pupils can get a sense of strong achievement for what they're doing outside of the classroom. It includes 4 key strands. First of all, competes. Every pupil will have the chance to compete in academic, sporting, or cultural competitions, and it's our strong view that that's going to help build resilience and character in young people. Creativity is hugely important to me. I've worked in schools which have really prized that, and I can see the power that has in improving pupil confidence. So we want pupils to have the chance to create through music, drama, art, dance, innovation, entrepreneurship, through all of those different strands that will encourage pupils to develop the widest possible interests. It's really important to us too to encourage citizenship, and therefore our third strand is contribute. We want pupils to have the chance to lead, to provide service to others, and to develop their their responsibility for others too. And we're creating lots of opportunities for pupils to do that. We also want pupils to be challenged through the Flourish programme, which means that some of the programmes that we offer, or some of the channels that we offer in that programme, will be aimed at pushing pupils outside of their comfort zones. At QE Barnet, there's a concept they have, which is quite an English concept, I suppose, which is this idea that pupils should be comfortably stuck, that they should find things difficult, but they should be happy about that because they'll see that difficulty as fundamental to their own development. So through the QE Flourish programme, we're determined that our school isn't an academic hothouse, there will of course be high standards and high expectations, but we want to provide the structured opportunity to make sure that all pupils are developing holistically as a result of their participation in the Flourish programme. Our second signature programme is QE House. So alongside Flourish, our house system plays a central role in daily school life. For many students, their house will become the place in school in which they feel most known. Being part of a house will provide our students with an exceptionally strong sense of belonging and identity within the school. It will allow us to provide a smaller school experience within a larger school. It will also provide significant pastoral support and continuity. It will provide pupils opportunities for leadership and service as they grow up in their house. They'll have significant mentorship and leadership roles in the house, especially around supporting younger students. And it will also provide a way for us to deliver healthy competition across the school through academic, cultural and sporting inter-house competitions. These two programs fit together, I think, brilliantly to help students build relationships across year groups, and it helps older students learn the skills of mentoring and leadership, as well as the ability to contribute to something which perhaps is larger than themselves, i.e. their house identity. So, having said that, there are a couple of things which really underpin what we're offering here at QE Dubai Sports City and which are really important to me. Student well-being is an absolute non-negotiable for me. I've worked in boarding education for 20 years where we've had 24/7 responsibility for the students that we teach. And there's nothing more important to me than student well-being in that context. So all of these academic and co-curricular programs that I've talked about today will sit within a clear and rigorous pastoral framework, and the highest possible standards of safeguarding are the non-negotiables at the heart of our culture and the heart of all that we do. Alongside that, as I've said, pupils being known within the school by important adults, whether that's their tutor or mentors or their housemaster or a phase leader or even the senior management team, is hugely important. So we want to ensure that pupils are developing the strongest relationships with the adults around them, and that will require consistent routines, shared expectations, and through those routines and expectations, students will feel secure and supported in what they're doing. We want to encourage the development of character. Kindness, courtesy, self-discipline and responsibility are all explicitly taught, but they're also modelled by our staff and by everyone else involved in the school. My experience is that the most successful schools have high expectations of their students, but they also provide the structure that's needed to support them in exceeding those expectations. And I see tutors and teachers as having a fundamental role in that, in ensuring that students feel challenged, but also they have that sense of being guided by someone who knows them and by someone who's supporting them in opening up new futures. Now, a natural question for parents at the moment when a new school is opening is, who are the people who are going to be involved in teaching my children? And I wanted to let you know that building an incredible team of outstanding educators is my first priority. I know just how important each of the appointments that we've made and that we're making is. And I hope that you'll be pleased to know that while I can't share the names of our senior team at the moment, we're expecting to do that over the course of the coming days and weeks, that each of the heads of each of our phases, that's the pre-prep, the prep, and the senior school, are currently working in schools considered outstanding or very good by KHDA. We want that kind of in-country experience leading our school, and we want them to have the experience of an outstanding education from the start, so they can translate what they know and what their experience tells them is needed to ensure that our students have the best experience. More broadly, each of them also has had significant experience in the UK, so they also understand what it looks like to deliver a British education at the highest possible level. We're also looking to ensure that our staff have the best kind of experience, and so our teachers will be expected to have a minimum of 3 years experience in British curriculum schools. But in actual fact, that's that's kind of minimum expectation for us. And at the moment, while we're working through our recruitment, we're actually looking to find staff who've got the best experience and indeed the longest experience that we can find. So I want you to be reassured that from my perspective, assembling an outstanding team is fundamental to all that we're doing. I think that our teachers will be expected to be confident subject specialists. They're expected to be thoughtful educators, and they'll also be expected to be active contributors to school life. We want them to model the curiosity that we expect our pupils to have. We want them to model the kind of academic ambition that we want our pupils to have. We want them to have broad interests, to encourage our own pupils to develop their own interests at that point. So actually, in a sense, it's one of the parts of this next phase that I'm really excited about. Recruiting our staff and building that team is a fundamental kind of part of my enjoyment of the job at the moment, and getting a chance to engage with you as families and of course with your children will be an equally exciting part of it. You will naturally, I'm sure, have questions about our environment. We're really lucky to have had the chance to take over an incredible site at the heart of Sports City here in Dubai, and construction work is already underway to turn this building into a school fit to deliver students ready to tackle the future in a really modern and future-focused way. And I'm delighted to share some of the renders and some of the details of our ambition for that here and now. Our campus has been designed to inspire ambition as well as to support excellent teaching and learning. Alongside well-equipped science laboratories, specialist classrooms and dedicated spaces for music and drama, our students will have access to innovative facilities such as esports and robotics labs to support coding, problem-solving, teamwork alongside digital creativity. Alongside our own facilities, we have a comprehensive partnership with ISD, and that means that our students will have access to unrivaled indoor and outdoor facilities for sport, while flexible and creative performance spaces allow students to rehearse, present and showcase their work with confidence. House and pastoral areas are integrated to the campus design so that students feel known and supported, and we're going to ensure that our technology is used purposefully to enhance learning rather than to be a distraction from it. From my perspective, the result is an environment that is inspiring, enabling, and firmly grounded in our educational purpose. So having said all of this, I'm really grateful to you for having listened to me so carefully for such a time. I really wanted to try and articulate our vision through a slightly different channel, which was to think about what do I imagine an Elizabethan might ultimately look like. You know, if a pupil is, or a student rather, is with us for a good period of time, what would it look like? And in a sense, that's at the heart of our vision. And for me, I wanted to say that my ambition is for Elizabethans who leave our school to be confident and inspired to innovate. I want them to leave confident and inspired to innovate, not by accident, but by careful design and curation of our curriculum. Their confidence will have been built through regular opportunities to speak, perform, present, and lead. They will have rehearsed ideas in seminars, presented projects publicly, taken part in performances and competitions. They will have collaborated in teams. Through QE Flourish, they will have engaged in innovation, digital creativity, the arts, and have had a chance to lead others. And over time, they will have been comfortable sharing ideas, shaping projects, and stepping forward when something needs to be done or where they have something to contribute. We want them to be able and therefore to be empowered to excel. As an Elizabethan leaves school, we want them to have a genuine love of learning and the ability to think deeply and independently. They will have been stretched academically, but never rushed or reduced to exam techniques alone. Ours isn't going to be a hothouse environment, as I've mentioned. It's one where free-thinking scholarship is valued for its own sake, and where students learn to enjoy challenge rather than fear it. Along the way, they will have debated ideas, they will have written with precision, they will have explored science through investigation and tested their thinking in competitions such as poetry, MUN, and academic Olympiads. Just as importantly, they will have learned to connect ideas across disciplines, giving them a broad, coherent understanding of the world and their place within it. I wanted also to say that when we talk about ability here at Queen Elizabeth School, Dubai Sports City, we're understanding that in inclusive terms. We want our school to be truly inclusive, and we're building the facilities and the team to ensure that we can maximize the potential of every pupil, or every student rather, in our school. And Elizabethan is someone who has been supported to achieve at the highest level of their potential, with their ambition matched by the care and expertise of our team. And finally, an Elizabethan leaving our school will be responsible and nurtured to flourish. They'll be responsible young citizens, and they'll be applying to highly selective pathways beyond school, whether that's university, degree-based apprenticeships, or other highly selective channels. They'll be well known through strong tutor relationships and a purposeful house system, and they will have learned kindness, integrity, and responsibility as part of daily school life. Their individual interests and aspirations will have been nurtured through careful guidance and our Futures programme, supporting thoughtful decision-making and preparation for the next stage of their journey. And that takes me back to my initial vision and mission statement, that above all, when an Elizabethan leaves our school, they will have emerged as someone who is confident, able, and responsible, prepared not just for university, but for life beyond it, and indeed whatever that life may throw at them. And you as parents have a hugely important role to play in this. We want our families to be partners in all that we're doing, and we want to build a community around our founding families. We want you to play an important part in that, and that part of that will be ensuring that we have a really strong communication channel with you as families. We want to build trust with you, and we want to do that through highly visible and highly responsible leadership of our school. And to that end, we'll be announcing soon the programs that we will use to ensure that parents have an opportunity to help us set the culture in our school and to help us set the direction, so that that partnership can become a two-way partnership in that regard. So to close, Queen Elizabeth School Dubai Sports City will be a high expectation, high support community dedicated to developing confident, able, and responsible young people. Its successes will be determined by the quality of the relationship between the people who are in this call now, my team, you as parents, and of course your children. And I'm really proud to be leading an incredible team who are going to build a highly, highly effective school in Dubai. Our heritage is exceptional, and our vision is clear. I hope that you'll find something in what I've said today and something in our school that sparks your ambition for your child, and that our engagement today will mark the beginning of a strong and trusting partnership over the course of the coming years. I'm going to now hand over to Louise.
Thank you very much, Dan. Okay, so I am Louise Newman, Head of Admissions, and have already met with many of you. For those of you who are still going through the process, I will just touch lightly on what you can expect. At Queen Elizabeth Dubai Sports City, our admissions process is intentionally thoughtful and personal. As a founding school, we see admissions not simply as an application, but as a beginning of a long-term partnership with families. Our process has been designed to be as seamless as possible. For those of you who are yet to initiate your admissions journey, you will find the application form on our website. Once you've submitted it, it will be reviewed, and we will liaise with you to arrange a meeting and an age-appropriate interaction with your child. The application costs 525 dirhams, and you can now pay this easily online. Successful applications are followed by an offer of a seat, which is valid for 7 days. Should you decide to proceed, a deposit of 7,000 dirhams is payable, and this will be deducted from your first term's fees. And I should mention that our founding families will be eligible for a school tuition fee discount of 25% for life. As a founding cohort, you will be closely connected to the school leadership team with early access to our campus updates, community events, and transition support ahead of our August 2026 opening. Throughout the admissions journey, I, together with my team, am here to guide and support you. We know that choosing the right school is one of the most important decisions a family makes, and we're committed to making that journey transparent, respectful, and genuinely welcome. So before today's presentation, we had invited you to submit any burning questions you may have had. And I think Dan has answered many of the questions. There were several themes coming through and largely were addressed in the presentation. I do, however, have some further questions that have come in. Dan, if you're happy to answer them now on this call. And after that, for anybody who has questions, after following this webinar, please feel free to submit them through to admissions and we will reply independently and individually to each of you. So to kick off, Dan, how would you encourage students to do their homework and exercises without bribing or treating them?
Thanks, Louise. This is a really interesting question about how you can kind of address boys' motivation, I think, when they've got homework deadlines piling up and things going on. I've worked in schools with teenagers in particular for quite a long time, and that's actually one of the most challenging phases. Look, I think trying to communicate something about the value of learning is really important here. Pupils, students rather need to understand where they're headed. They need to understand what it is that they're going to be achieving. And I think setting clear goals for them and ensuring that they have a really strong sense of progress. And I think as a parent, one of the best things you can do to support that is, while you can, perhaps spend some time doing the homework alongside them. Can you get a sense of what they're doing, and can you sit alongside them and support them? And the systems that we're building in the school will give parents maximum visibility of the work that their children are doing in the school. And we'd hope that through that visibility, parents would have the opportunity to engage with that homework while they're doing it and to see that as a kind of shared journey in the family, I would suppose. And we'd also be aiming to host master classes for parents across the course of the school year, where parents can drop in and perhaps over coffee meet some of our expert teachers and talk about the ways that you as a parent can support your child in developing the right kind of study skills and executive function skills that will mean perhaps instead of needing to be bribed, they're actually asking when they might find the time to do their homework.